C'est un plaisir sur PUREchannel de recevoir Mikkel Hess. On nous a parlé, Laurent Saunier nous a parlé, le programmateur d'un groupe à ne pas louper. Eh bien, il est là, avec nous sur PUREchannel. Hi Mikkel, it's a pleasure. I was just saying, and as I told you in the hotel, that the big boss of that festival said you were the band to see. So before the show you said, oh gosh, maybe it's a lot of pressure. Did you felt you enjoyed the show and did a great show and the audience received it as you liked?
I was very happy with the show, yes. It was also a good thing to take the pressure off. It's like 5 minutes before the show, there's like no people. Like right when you start, it's packed with people. The logistics of this festival is really good.
Yeah.
So first you're like, oh, it's not so many people, no problem. Then once you get started, then you forget about it. So it was really nice.
The artists that are performing in the jazz festival always say to me that the audience is very well responding to solos, to movements in the music.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that also? Because you have a very progressive music and sometimes, boom, it explodes. And I felt the audience, I was in the audience, was really digging these variations of your music.
Yeah, that's sometimes if you play and you sort of go somewhere a little bit unusual, it's a little bit like you jump off and you hope the audience is going to catch you, or like in the sense they'll go with you there. And I never felt like they let us fall to the ground. Even if we tried something, they were with us all the time. So it's very, I felt we were together, us and the audience. We were like finding a little frequency there. So it was nice.
Let's try to explain to the French viewers and the worldwide viewers what is S is More, because it's a very peculiar band and very original band on stage too. You're, let's say, the charismatic leader. You are a drummer, but not only a drummer, and you are back to the audience facing your own musicians.
Yeah.
And it's a very rhythmic music.
It's a very good resume. We usually say it's a band with 4 drummers, and the instruction, like I call it an integration project, because there's a lot of genres and whatever. But so I would be the minister of integration. That's my job in the band. And then, but what we talk about often when we talk about like how we're gonna approach this song or something, it's like, okay, think about it. Everybody is a drummer. So even the guitar player, he'll find something that's like, it's very percussive the way I like to think about it. It's got nothing to do with African music, but I'm still inspired by that whole approach, that everything has its little place where it falls.
So it means when you compose, you always have a beat and a groove first in mind, and then...
It's very random how I compose. It happens in different ways. Sometimes it's just like, oh, that's an idea, or sometimes it's hard to say, but it's more like I'll compose something, but then when we start to arrange it for the group, I tend to like it a lot, that it's like clicking in that way.
And you said that every musician is playing in a very rhythmic way, and also the instruments are treated in an original way. We were talking about the saxophone, for instance. The saxophone is doing a lot of effects, lot of basses effects that are making the music progress also.
Yeah, we've talked also when I started put this group together. I'd had other constellations of the groups, and it wasn't so much like, okay, I really want vibraphone or I really want saxophone. It's more like, I really want Mikkel in the group. I really want Matt in the group. Okay, so he plays vibraphone. So we're gonna find a way to make, because it was more like about the people, and then that sort of gave some unexpected gifts also for the music. To take the vibraphone and then think, how can we make this vibraphone sound like we're in a dance club in Berlin in like 1997? Okay, so he invented all these things, like I make some pattern or he develops it more, and then he has this thing where he's like pushing his belt towards the bars, so it sounds like, so it almost doesn't sound like a vibraphone anymore. But and so we talk about that, like how can you make a saxophone, how can you make some, like for instance, a thing you do a lot in dance music is like your side chain, your deep sub bass to the kick drum, so it has like that whole club sound. So you think like, how you can play it like that on the saxophone. So he'll like, ooh, ooh. So it's like kick, saxophone, kick. So we're trying to sort of do some of the things that I would do in the studio making club music. and then translate it into this more like jazz instrumentation.
Less is More is a groovy band. It's making people dance a lot of time.
Yeah, I like to play dance music. I had this, I'm an old man, so I'm not gonna be DJing at 4 o'clock at some. I mean, I would like to, but so I was like, how can we play dance music but still do it in a way that I can relate to or something? Because I love to go to a club really late and just as long as there's boom, 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 boom happening and it's loud enough, then I'm happy. But it's how can we do that and combine that with what I like to do in music, where it's about improvising together, but not creating some structures. So
is there a lot of improvisation in the set you played, for instance, or do you know exactly where you're going in the structure?
Well, there's a lot of fixed places that we go, but it's not necessarily fixed how long we stay in each section. So that's also why in a way, I sit with my back to the audience, but really I sit with my front to the musicians, like you said, because then we can build it up, and then I can cue, then we move on to the next section. So there's some room for improvisation, but it's more there's a couple of solos, but most of the improvisation is more improvising with the flow, where we do that together, and I just try and conduct it. But it's also if something energy comes from over here, I'll then we'll go further on that. So it's not just limited to what ideas I'll get. It's everybody can bring their energy, and then I just try to organize it a little bit. But all the songs are written in advance, and all the patterns and that stuff is written, and so a lot of it is the musicians will develop themselves. I have some idea, and then they'll make it better.
You're singing also. Very, very cool effects on your voice that are very clubbing, in fact.
Yeah.
You should be playing with Daft Punk to make singing.
Yeah, I think we're like a hippie version of a cool French dance band. But I love Daft Punk. I listen to it a lot. And Air, and I like a lot of French.
What was your formation? You were drummer, but how did you learn the other instruments? By passion? Just you getting through the cornet or through the bass?
It's kind of random. Most times if I learn something new, it's because I need to for something. I remember I'm a shitty trumpet player, but I can play a few things. And it's because I was making music for a play at the Royal Theatre in Denmark. And it was just me and one other guy, and we really wanted trumpet. Nobody, he couldn't play trumpet, and he was playing trombone, I think. So we would just practice every day up till the premiere of the show, and then we could play the lines that we had arranged. And the same thing with the bass. I think it was I said yes. I had this friend who had a band. He needed a bass player for one gig, and he was like, "You're a bass player," and I don't know if something happened. I said, "Yes, I play bass." And then I just had to practice. I think that's a good way to learn something. You have a date where you're going to be on a stage playing some instrument. Okay, fuck it, I'll find out.
Thank you very much, Mikkel. Hope to see you soon on PUREchannel, as soon as you want.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.